How Grey Goose turned ordinary vodka into luxury. What if I told you that one of the most successful luxury brands in the vodka industry didn't win by having hundreds of years of history? It won by convincing people that history wasn't important.
Because when Grey Goose entered the American market, it had a problem. It was French. And when people thought about vodka, France wasn't the country that came to mind. Russia was, Poland was, Eastern Europe was.
So why would anyone pay extra for a French vodka? The answer reveals one of the most interesting tricks in modern marketing. Grey Goose didn't sell vodka first, it sold an identity. Let's go back to the beginning. In the 1990s, American nightlife was changing. Premium cocktails were becoming increasingly popular, and people were willing to spend serious money at upscale restaurants, hotels, and nightclubs. Sidney Frank, an American spirits entrepreneur, noticed something unusual. Consumers were already willing to pay a premium for drinks containing vodka, but the vodka itself wasn't being treated like a luxury product. Frank saw a gap. Instead of creating another cheap or ordinary vodka, he wanted something that could sit alongside other luxury products. And that meant breaking one of the biggest rules in the category. He didn't try to make Grey Goose look traditional. He made it look expensive. The bottle was the first advertisement. Before a customer ever tasted Grey Goose, they saw the bottle. It had a distinctive frosted appearance, an elegant shape, and a sophisticated French identity. That was important, because consumers make judgments incredibly quickly. You see a cheap-looking bottle and you expect an ordinary product. You see something carefully designed and premium-looking and your expectations immediately change. Grey Goose took advantage of that psychological effect. The company wasn't simply asking, how can we make better vodka? It was asking, how can we make people perceive this vodka as special? That's a completely different question. And then came the price. Grey Goose was positioned above many established competitors. That might sound like a terrible strategy for a new brand, but Frank understood something. A premium product shouldn't always look like it's trying to win on price. The higher price itself could become part of the luxury experience. Think about watches, think about cars, think about designer fashion. Consumers don't automatically assume the cheapest option is the best. In luxury markets, the price can actually reinforce the story. Grey Goose used that principle to its advantage, but the real strategy happened outside the store. The next challenge was getting people to notice the brand.
Instead of trying to reach everybody, Grey Goose focused on specific environments. High-end restaurants, upscale hotels, nightclubs, premium bars, places where influential and wealthy consumers spent their time. This created something much more powerful than simple advertising. It created association. If customers repeatedly saw Grey Goose in environments connected with celebrities, wealth, and nightlife, the brand slowly became connected with those things too. And once people began associating Grey Goose with success, ordering the drink could become a way of communicating success. You weren't simply saying, "I'd like a vodka." You were subtly saying, "This is the kind of lifestyle I belong to." That's one of the strongest forces in consumer psychology. People often buy products to express who they are or who they want to become. Then, Grey Goose gave people a reason to believe. But luxury branding can't survive on appearance alone. Eventually, consumers need justification. So Grey Goose built a story around its French production, ingredients, and craftsmanship. France already had a powerful reputation. Wine, champagne, fashion, perfume, fine dining, luxury. Grey Goose connected itself to those existing associations. And suddenly, the fact that the vodka was French didn't feel like a weakness. It became an advantage. This is a brilliant marketing technique. Take an association people already trust and attach your brand to it. You don't always need to create a reputation from nothing. Sometimes you can borrow the reputation of an entire category, location, tradition, or culture. Then came the social proof. Grey Goose also benefited from awards, industry recognition, influential customers, and growing visibility in popular culture. And this created a snowball effect. The more people saw Grey Goose in premium environments, the more prestigious it seemed. The more prestigious it seemed, the more people wanted it. The more people wanted it, the more bars and restaurants wanted to stock it. And the more places stocked it, the more visible the brand became. The cycle kept feeding itself. Eventually, Grey Goose became strongly associated with celebrity culture and nightlife. It wasn't just a vodka anymore, it was becoming a symbol. And that's where the marketing became extremely powerful. The billion-dollar question. By the early 2000s, Grey Goose had become one of the biggest names in premium vodka. Then came the moment that proved how valuable the brand had become. In 2004, Bacardi acquired Grey Goose for a reported $2 billion.
Think about what that means. The company wasn't simply selling bottles of alcohol. It had created a brand powerful enough to become a multi-billion-dollar asset. And that gives us the real lesson. The most valuable part of a product isn't always the physical product. Sometimes it's the meaning consumers attach to it. So, what can we learn? There are 3 big lessons from Grey Goose. First, don't compete where everyone else is competing. The established vodka brands had tradition. Grey Goose couldn't easily beat them there. So it created a different battlefield, luxury. Second, make every detail tell the same story. The bottle, the price, the locations, the French identity, the awards, the celebrity associations, everything communicated the same message, premium. Third, sell identity, not just functionality. A customer doesn't always buy something because it performs better. Sometimes they buy it because of what owning it says about them. That's why luxury brands are so powerful. They don't just sell products, they sell feelings, they sell belonging, they sell aspiration. And Grey Goose understood this incredibly well. The Grey Goose story teaches us something much bigger than how to market vodka. It teaches us that value isn't always discovered. Sometimes it's constructed. A product can be ordinary in one context and luxurious in another. Change the story, change the presentation, change the environment, change the associations, and suddenly people can perceive the same category in a completely different way. Grey Goose didn't need to become the oldest vodka in the world. It needed to become the vodka that felt like luxury. And that's the real secret behind the brand. People don't always buy what a product is. They buy what they believe the product represents. And when a brand controls that belief, it can turn something as ordinary as a bottle of vodka into a billion-dollar idea.